Thank you all so much for joining us for 2021 Women Build week of events. It's been a wonderful time so far, really getting empowered with great women speakers and groups of women really engaging in real conversation. Today we have Precious McCloud Choir. I am so excited for you all to meet her. She's been fun so far. She's fun even through text message, I promise. But anyway, I won't steal her thunder. Without further ado, Precious, if you would.
Absolutely. Good afternoon, everybody. Now, y'all going to have to talk to me or wave. I can see y'all. Y'all know I can see you, right? So wave your hand or something. There you go. Good afternoon and welcome to today. Do you guys know what today is? Yeah, it's Tuesday, what, March 23rd, March 22nd, March 23rd. But guess what? It's a day that we have not seen before. Isn't that awesome? And because of that, I see it as a gift. It's a day where every second, every minute, every hour, all of that presents us with a wonderful opportunity to choose how we will experience it, how we will experience this day. Today is where we can make the life-changing decision to be the absolute best version of ourselves and to do something that will improve our life. And because you all have made the decision to register for this call today, I believe that you have chosen to do just that. So thank you so much for joining me today. I am Precious Quire-McCloud, and I am a life enthusiast. That means I just get excited for no reason. I'm just excited. I'm here, we're living. It's just great to be alive, right? I believe that life can be wonderful, guys. I believe that life is all that it is cracked up to be. And I believe that joy can be found every single place that we look, despite the circumstance, despite the situation, despite how the children are acting up, the dog is doing this, and the spouse, despite all of those things, guys, we can absolutely find and connect with joy, but it's on the other side of our choosing. And that's what you have to remember. It's all a choice all the time. I'd like to pause and thank Habitat for Humanity of Forsyth County. Whoop, whoop. Of Forsyth County for the opportunity to be a part of this awesome, awesome series, and to be a part of the virtual week of empowerment that they have prepared for you guys. And I hope that you guys have taken advantage of some of the other sessions and that you're planning on attending some of the sessions that come after this one, because they truly have gathered some dynamic speakers to empower you. Now, the beautiful thing about empowerment, it really is about the definition. And it is the authority or power given to someone to do something. Put another way, it's the process of becoming stronger, more confident, especially in how you control your life and you take claim to your rights. So I'm talking about your rights, and I'm not talking about the Bill of Rights and 7 years ago and all this stuff, right? So it really is, I want to ask you a question. How many of you believe that you have the right to be happy? It's your right. How many of you believe that you have the right to live a fulfilled life? And the right, I see you. Thank you, Hazel. Hazel's raising her hand. Thank you, Hazel Griffin. Nice to meet you. That you have a right to choose your response, again, no matter the situation. And if your answer is yes, if you raised your hand, then I believe that you're in the right place, because today we're talking about mindfulness. Before we talk about mindfulness, we need to first define it. Mindfulness is all about being aware of the present moment, not what happened yesterday, not what happened 5 minutes ago, not what's about to happen, not what I'm planning this afternoon. It is the present moment, as in right now. Oh, there's another now that just right now. Oh, there's another now. You see what I'm saying? Right now, the present moment. There's so many now moments that pass us by. I want to start with an exercise. And so I'm going to set my clock to 60 seconds, okay? And in that 60 seconds, I have no instructions for you. I just want you to just be, okay? And the clock starts now. 30 more seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So this is where I'm going to need some of you guys to talk to me because I really want to know. During those 60 seconds, tell me some of the things that came to your mind. I see you, Toya. That's right. Go ahead and unmute.
For me, I was thinking about my afternoon. Like, thing I had to do this afternoon. I'm gonna be honest. I was like, what I gotta do after this call? Like, all right, what I'm gonna do this afternoon? What's due tomorrow? I guess I can start today in my mind.
Right.
I have a crazy mind though. You know that though.
Yep. Okay. What you're going to do this afternoon and what you're going to do after this call. I hear you. Who else?
Well, this is Willette. I just closed my eyes and focused on the moment, listened to the sounds in the room, and tried to breathe.
Got it. Listen to the sounds in the room. What sounds did you hear?
Heard my nephew on his laptop, remote learning.
Yep. Yep.
And I think I heard like a car or something outside.
Car outside. Got it. What else? Who else? Brittany, I'm going to call on. Okay, who else is there? Go ahead.
I was gonna say I had to kind of refocus. I was kind of like Toya thinking, oh, what do I have to do? I said, no, I'm in a moment. I'm in a moment. So I found myself struggling to follow instructions.
Right, absolutely. And I will say sometimes when I do this exercise, and it's like Toya said, you're thinking about what are you going to do after this call? What are you going to do this afternoon? Oh my gosh, I left the laundry on the counter. Did I leave the ironing board ironed up this morning? Oh my goodness, I forgot to pick up that water that I spilled. Somebody's going to fall on it. I need to call my husband. And it's just constant chatter, constant chatter. And that's exactly what that is. It's called mind chatter. And typical mind chatter, guys, it really sounds like your mind reading off a laundry list of to-do items. Exactly what Toya said. Your mind is listing fears, both real and imaginary. Your mind is recalling hurtful things that have happened in the past. Your mind is thinking about, like she said, something you have to do this afternoon. For me, I was thinking, oh my gosh, is my audio on? Can they hear me okay? I can't see everybody. Do I need to adjust? I mean, just so many things that had nothing to do with the present moment. And what happens is when we're doing that, our mind is actually judging the present moment. And sometimes we allow negative thoughts in those spaces. I don't measure up. I wish I were taller. Why can't my hair look like hers? I like that curl pattern. I want that. Why can't I have that car? Why aren't my children excelling the way that that family's children, they're excelling? And guys, this is what gets us in trouble, that mind chatter. That mind chatter is what causes breakdowns in relationships. It causes breakdowns in communication, and it negatively impacts how we relate to others. And I know you're wondering, well, how can that be? I was just sitting here quiet for 60 seconds. How can the fact that I'm sitting here saying what I'm going to do this afternoon, that's not harming anybody? What I'm going to do after the call, that's not harming anybody. How is that impacting things so strongly for me? These things prevent us from experiencing true joy and happiness. And guess what? No one else is involved. So I'm going to talk to you about a book that I've read that my husband recommended to me. It's called The Untethered Soul. But before I talk about that, I want you to understand and see what that mind chatter looks like. Because a lot of times it's happening internally. So no one hears it. No one sees us go through all of that, but it's actually happening. So Brittany, can you cue that first video, please? You good? Okay, you had to take back the host.
Apologies, my computer went haywire. I'm not sure what happened there.
That's okay.
I'm sorry, where were we? What do I need to do?
It's that first link.
Yes, ma'am. Own it.
That's okay.
All right.
So nice to be out here. Not supposed to beat myself up. I left dirty dishes in the sink. Why am I so Mom would have a fit if she knew. Can't remember. Gotta get some groceries. I keep on forgetting. To pick up laundry soap. Why am I so stupid? Going to try. Can't remember anything. So nice. Oh yeah. Out here. I'm supposed to be taking a mindful walk. I left dirty dishes in the
Okay, you can stop it.
Wow.
So guys, just imagine if you were walking or just doing anything and you were having all that mind chatter happening outside of yourself. Do you see how that happens and how it doesn't sound right, it doesn't look right, because that's not normal communication. In May, I will celebrate my 23rd wedding anniversary, and anyone who has been married or in a committed relationship for a while knows that there are ups and downs. And about 5 years ago, it was the same argument that just kept resurfacing. And we were in the middle of a heated discussion. And my husband said to me, he said, you know what? You don't know yourself. And I said, I'm like, what do you mean I don't know myself? I'm 40-something years old. I know myself. I'm with myself all the time. What does he mean I don't know? You don't know yourself. Storm off, and I'm sitting there. But then in the quiet of the moment, I said, you know what? He's been talking to me about mindfulness. He's been talking to me about these books that he's been reading and how he felt that would really impact things and improve our communication. So I decided to pick up the book. And the name of the book, I just referenced it. It's The Untethered Soul. And it's by Michael Singer. And I have to tell you guys, within the first 22 pages, I realized, oh, wow. That mind chatter is something real. It was that mind chatter that was fueling the friction. And it was that chatter that just kept me in reactionary mode. It filtered everything he said to me through a lens of judgment, shame, hurt, unresolved childhood scars, carryover from other relationships, disappointment that I'd felt at various times in my life, feelings of inadequacy. Give me a break. All the man said was, Precious, I wish you would do a better job at washing the dishes. So how did I manufacture all of this stuff? Mind chatter. It was from that lens that I was responding to him. So he never could communicate something because I would take it way left. And I'm sure if some of us admit to ourselves, we do that a lot. Someone says something to us, it triggers us, and we respond from that angle. We respond from that hurt, that unresolved issue. I'm not adequate. I'm not doing a good job. And that's not what anybody said, right? So those were the things that I had to deal with. And in The Untethered Soul, Michael Singer, he refers to that mind chatter as your inner roommate. And when I read that, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really interesting. He encourages you to experiment by giving that voice, that inner chatter, a body. So just imagine if you're sitting there and now that voice is a person that's always walking with you. And all you're hearing are these conflicting thoughts. Well, you're going to go there? I don't think you should. What she's talking about? Well, I don't like her glasses. Well, look at there. Oh, look at the grass. Look at the sky. It's cold. Where did the spring go? I need to eat something. What am I going to do this afternoon? Well, I don't know. Shoot, I left that book on the table. Just imagine if that person was a physical person in your ear. You would be like, get away. You are distracting me. You've got to go. So why is it that we don't recognize that person, that chatter, as something that we need to disconnect from? That mind chatter, we've got to disassociate ourselves. It creates chaos. And don't you know that sometimes you're faced with a situation and it's not your 37-year-old self, your 50-year-old self, your 67-year-old self that's responding. A lot of times it's that 8-year-old person that was ridiculed on the playground. It is that 5-year-old little girl or boy who was abandoned or felt abandoned by a parent. It is that 13-year-old that felt that, it was a bad breakup and that defined everything about who they are. So a lot of times it's not really you. It's you in the moment, but the person that's really coming through and responding is that inner self, that unresolved issue, and you were triggered by it. So let's clarify mindfulness. Okay? Mindfulness is all about being aware of the present moment. We've already said that, but we're clarifying that it is being aware of the present moment without interpretation or judgment. Let's sit in that for just a second. You're in the present moment. You're not judging it. You're not even interpreting anything. You're just aware that the present moment exists. So what I want to do is I want to take another 60 seconds, except this time, I want you to try to quiet that mind chatter, because it's important that you realize that this is not easy. If mindfulness were easy, everyone would be doing it. It wouldn't be a thing, right? You've got to realize that that mind chatter is real. That is constantly happening to you. So I want you to feel how challenging it is to overcome that. So we're going to do another 60 seconds. And this time again, I want you to just be, but try to quiet that thought. Don't think about this afternoon or what you're going to do the next meeting or after the meeting. Okay? Ready, set, go. And I'm going to complicate it because I'm going to start talking. Brittany, have you turned in that paperwork yet? Charlotte, do you see those cars passing by? Tanisha, how you doing, girl? How you doing? Dear, do you remember that time in Zumba class where I called you up to the front? Oh my gosh, look at that. Somebody is knocking on my door. I wish they would leave. Can't they tell I'm on a Zoom call? Five seconds. Toya, what you doing after this afternoon, Toya? And stop. Okay. Toya, talk to me. How was that? How hard did you have to focus?
It was hard for me, but I just kept telling myself peace. I was like peace over and over again. I was like, I was gonna say, I said quiet, like quiet, just say peace. And I live on a golf course, so I heard birds chirping. So all I could hear was birds chirping background. But I was like, all right, Toya, peace, peace. I just kept saying peace. And that's what it is. I was gonna start praying. I'm like, all right, we're gonna be all extra on this call, but I was
whatever works.
Peace to myself.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're saying that you had to keep repeating it. You had to keep repeating it. You couldn't just sit there and actually do it. Especially once I started talking, right? Because now I'm just creating all these distractions. And that happens, right? So you reacted, well, she just be quiet, and that's what happens all the time. Because guess what? Now they're interrupting your chatter. How dare they? How dare people interrupt the chatter that you're having with yourself? All this chaos that you have going on in your mind about yourself, your finances, your family, your friends, your situation, this not looking good. How dare somebody try to interrupt that? Why don't we focus on trying to quiet that? So now that we've done that, it's important that you can sense that so you can see it's not easy to do. Is there anybody else who would like to share about, were they successful at quieting those thoughts just now, or what?
This is Hazel Griffin. I would.
Mm-hmm.
During the quiet chatter, I kept saying, please stop the noise. Please stop the noise. The Walmart trucks are unloading. I live 2 minutes across the street from across the parking lot from Walmart. And the bread
Yes.
truck, he take the racks and drop them on the ground. The big Walmart truck, he just went through. And I said, please, I can hear you trucks. You know, I could just hear the trucks when it was quiet. I hear them
Yeah.
all day long. You know, they wake me up early in the morning, about 5:30 in the morning. And I said, please, can't you see I'm asleep? You know. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
It was just the sound of the trucks I could hear while we was having our quiet moment.
That's right. And sometimes you don't get the luxury of everything just quieting around you. You don't have the luxury of people not interrupting those thoughts or coming or just doing something that we say they just messed up my day. Why they have to say that to me? It just doesn't work that way in real life. So it really is all about you. Anybody else?
I found myself repeating the instructions. But then whenever you started to interrupt, I'm looking at, oh, who's Tanya? Who's that? So I was kind of being nosy, trying to see what was going on around me.
Right. So it's not easy. And guys, we live in an incredibly busy world. The pace of life is frantic and our minds are always busy. We've just proven that. So that's why it was important for me to take you through that exercise. So let's make this more realistic. That was just 60 seconds. That was literally 1 minute of your life. I'm going to ask you a question. How many times within the past 24 hours have you taken just 10 minutes, just 10, to do absolutely nothing? And by absolutely nothing, I mean no talking, no texting, no chatting, no emailing, no planning, just not doing anything. Just within the past 24 hours. Is there anyone who can say, oh yeah, I've been successful at doing that within the past 24 hours? 10 minutes, piece of cake. I don't see any hands. I don't see anything. All right, I'll make it a little bit easier for you. Let's go with the past 7 days. Okay, maybe 24 hours. That's a bit short. Let me help you out. The past 7 days. And there are 10,080 minutes in a 7-day period. So I'm asking you, in those 10,080 minutes, have you been successful in carving out just 10 of them to just be quiet, to be still with your thoughts and do absolutely nothing?
I can say that I have.
Okay, talk to me.
Every night, when I'm getting ready to go to bed, I turn off the TV, I turn everything off. I just have just a moment of silence. This is outside of my prayers, just before I go to bed, to try to get my mind and body to just relax. So
yes,
I can fall asleep. Now, I'm not going to say it always works.
Right.
Putting on the sound machine or something later, but I do give myself at least 10 minutes to just try to regroup and get ready to relax for bed, so my mind will relax and I'm not dreaming about all the craziness that happened all day.
That's right. And how long have you been doing that, Tanya?
Oh, probably since the beginning of the year. I make a conscious effort to try to do it every day. I'm not going to say it happens every day, but I try to do it every day since the beginning of the year.
Right. Is there anything that happened that made you feel like, okay, this is something I want to start doing?
I started going to a lot of yoga classes, and it's something that the yoga instructor said that we should do, just to relax ourselves at night before we go to bed, because that's when all the noise comes right before you go to bed, because there's nothing else going on. So
that's right. Absolutely. Anybody else? Thank you so much for sharing that.
I have tried. It's really hard, though. I've tried, okay, in 30 minutes, I need to wind down. It's time for bed. So I will turn the TV off. I start my prayers. When I'm done, I intend to just have quietness, stillness. But like you said, that those thoughts, things about what I need to do, what's coming up next, and those always, they stop me from relaxing and resting. And honestly, Precious, it makes me to the point where it's hard to sleep at night because my mind is racing. What about this? And check on your daughter and your son. And have I done everything to help them? So yes, my brain is always going. I wanted to just relax.
That's right. That
Yep.
mind chatter. And I want to ask you, Tiffany, so when you say in those moments, you said it actually stops you from relaxing. Goodness gracious.
Yes. Yes.
Goodness gracious. So Tanya just said that she decided to start doing this after she'd gone to some yoga classes. So there's some intentionality there. And so I think we can all agree that when we're able to relax our minds and our thoughts and bring all of those things into subjection, there is benefit there, right? But you
Yes.
just said, just laying there, I tried, I couldn't. All these other thoughts, and it prevented me from doing the very thing that I feel like will bring me the joy, bring me the peace that I need to
Yes.
just arise the next day and be, my full and present self.
Yes.
Very interesting. So I want to ask you, when you said just now that you were thinking about your son, you were thinking about this, in that moment, could you do anything about any of those things?
And you know what? I can't. And not then, not in that moment.
Yeah.
I always try to share good, positive things with them, and just hope that they catch on and latch on. But I'm learning that, our young adults want to learn on their own. Even though I've
Yeah.
been here almost
Yeah.
50 years, they're more like, no, you don't know anything. And I'm like,
Right.
okay.
Right.
So I have to learn to just relax and listen to them more. So I
Mm.
do still worry about them. So I just started including in my prayers, the prayers for my children,
Mhm.
and that has helped me sleep better. So I just
Right.
relax. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tiffany. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else want to share about how you might struggle with this, times where you've tried it, even at work? Sometimes we have situations that we face, and a lot of that self-talk undermines our ability to be as clear as we need to be in the present moment. It could be dealing with your manager. It could be dealing with someone that you really don't care for that much. So you're having to figure out, how can I navigate this and still work with this person? It's all of these things that's going on. Anybody else? So when I asked you if within the past 7 days, and again, I said there's 10,080 minutes in a 7-day period. And most of us struggle to just even find consistently 10 minutes where we can just be present in the very moment. Guys, that's very telling. Because listen, we're talking about our mind here. Our mind is our most valuable and most precious resource. We're talking about our mind. This is the mind, guys, that you rely on to be productive at work. This is the mind that you rely on to be creative, to have fun with your family, to plan things. This is the mind that you use to engage with others. This is the mind that you use to say, okay, this is how I'm going to experience the world, how I'm going to encourage myself, whenever a situation comes. It's from this mind. You only get one. And based on what I'm hearing and what we're seeing and what we're saying, we do very little to take care of it. So preserve your happy is very precious to me, because how do you treat something that's valuable to you? How do you treat something that's valuable to you? You treat it like it's valuable. You care after it. You make sure nobody gets, nope, don't mess with this. This here is mine, right? You protect it at all costs. And so to me, I feel like when we're talking about our joy, our peace of mind, those things are valuable. But what's getting in the way is that mind chatter, all that negative self-talk, right? All that chaos. We can't resolve anything. There is no solution that can possibly exist, guys, when you're lost in the energy of the problem. No solution. When that problem comes and it's just spinning, it's a problem, and you're just giving to it. I found out I was diagnosed with this, and this is going on, and this is happening with my family. And so now I've taken my mind off the present moment, because now I'm dealing with all of these emotions that are swirling around. So now I'm in it. I'm just in the tornado. You can't really be mindful with your mind full. I'm going to say that again. You cannot be mindful when your mind is full. There's no shortcuts to this thing, guys. You have to be able to maintain that awareness of the present moment if you have any shot at mastering the art of perspective and being and doing, I'll say doing mindfulness. That's what sometimes people say, or just being mindful daily. There's no shortcuts. The only way to achieve mindfulness is through awareness of the present moment, this moment that you've been given, not what you're going to do later. Because guess what? You can't do anything about it. I could plan what I'm going to do later on. Anything could happen. And sometimes we get so overwhelmed by situations and it just feels so big. And our ability to connect with the present moment is really what will allow us to connect with the calm that we're actually seeking. So it's like this, we're just sabotaging ourselves. So that's why I wanted to slow things down just a little bit, help you see that that mind chatter is what's going on. It's keeping you, it's that roadblock from you being able to truly be mindful in the present moment. And you have to understand that difficulties are going to come. So here's the perspective part, right? You got to understand life is going to be life. No matter who you are, it's going to be life. It's going to throw you some curves. It's going to throw you some disappointments. It's going to hit you upside the head when you think that you are doing good, right? There's going to be some unexpected things that are going to happen to you. Difficult coworkers, difficult people, family members, health crisis, strangers. All of these things are a part of life. And guys, guess what? You have zero control over those things. Zero. You have zero control over other people and their decisions. All you have is you. This is about you. Mindfulness is about you. It's not, well, if they would act different, then I could do this. Well, if she wouldn't have said this, then I wouldn't have got mad. What? No. If they would just act right, then, they're going to bring it out. They're going to bring out the old Precious. What does that mean exactly? Because the minute you bring out the old Precious, now you're right there in that swirl, right? And that's what's happening. And you are not aware of the present moment. So you can't get to the next moment because now you're in that chaos. Accept that life will happen. Sometimes we're disappointed because of the expectations that we set. So when you're dealing with people, kind of think about it. When we're hurt by something someone said or did, it really is about our expectation of them. If I expect Brittany to greet me with a hug every single day that she sees me pre-COVID, and she greets me and she just kind of like, hey, and goes on, like, what happened there? I expected one thing, she did something else. And sometimes where there's a misalignment with what we expect and what other people do, that's where we're so hurt. And that's where that friction comes. And if they would, no, just adjust your expectations. People are going to be people. They're going to choose what they want to choose. And guess what? You need to give them the space to make their own decisions for themselves, even the ones that involve you. Because guess what? You want to be extended that same courtesy. You want your no to be no. You want to feel that you can just say, no, I don't want to do this. And people accept your choices. Do that for other people without it becoming a thing, without it becoming an issue. So many people, there's friction in relationships because of that one thing, because you're trying to control what that person does and you can't do it. When something happens, just adjust your expectations so that you can move on with people in harmony. Because the one person that you have to be in harmony with is yourself. And when you have that, and when you're centered on that, and you value that, you won't allow that to happen. You won't allow just anybody to come, or for your mind to just go and just say, nope, I'm going to just, forget that relationship. No, it's your peace of mind is too valuable to just give away like that. We think about things in opposite terms, right? In life, up, down, black, white, salt, pepper, back, forth, stimulus, response, stimulus, response, stimulus, response. What I want to introduce you to is a space that exists between stimulus and response. So we don't just walk past that. It's not just up, down, black, white, back, forth, salt, pepper, stimulus, response. Stimulus, space, response. When that stimulus comes, right, and it enters, you have that space to make a decision about what that stimulus is. And in that moment, in that space is where you have your power. That space gives you the leverage you need to conquer the very next moment. And if you don't believe me, try it. This is a great nugget right here. So in that moment, let's take it back 5-6 years ago. My husband said something to me. Babe, let's talk about some things. I just noticed you're leaving dishes in the sink a little bit, more. And I would just like, if you can just do a little bit better, with your house cleaning. That's a trigger, right? Because I got to be perfect, right? I got to be. What he mean? My house cleaning? Oh, so I keep a dirty house now? Oh, I got to wash all these dishes, and I've been working all day and all this stuff. But there's that space because I reacted to the emotion. Give that in that space, pause, breathe, understand what's happening to you in that moment, not what they said or did. What's happening to you? Why are you triggered by that harmless thing that they said? And then is the response. And guess what, guys? Sometimes the response can be absolutely nothing. You don't always have to respond. My mom says you don't have to attend an argument, every argument that you're invited to. You don't have to. My mom also says 1 cent cannot make noise. It takes 2. So I want you to understand that in that space is where your power lies. So I'm going to pause for just a second. I want you to think about triggers in your life. Think about something that something happens and it just on the inside, you just catch yourself. And sometimes you react. Sometimes you might go off on someone. And what's happening in that moment, you're poking holes in people. And you can't always fill those holes. And when that happens, now that relationship is altered in a way that you might not be able to repair. So why not seize your power in the moment? And in that space, understand what's going on. So I really want y'all to think just for a second. What are some triggers in your life? Before, for me, it was somebody saying that I didn't do something well. I was raised in a home where there was a lot of praise, a lot of praise. I was overindulged with encouragement. You can do it. You can compete. You're awesome. Let your light shine, Precious. And I messed around and I believed it. I believed my dad every time he told me I was special. I believed my father and my mom when they told me, Precious, you can compete in this world. I believed them. But somewhere in my mind, I think I twisted that to mean that I cannot make any mistakes. And that's not what they were saying. So that was a trigger. If you came to me and said, well, Precious, you did great. Here's all the clapping, because that's all I got growing up. Ooh, wee, Precious, come sing for us. Precious, come dance. Oh, okay, Precious, I'm the center of attention. Love it. And now you mean in my adult world, somebody has to say, Precious, well, no, I think you could have done better with that. Trigger. What? Do you know who you're talking to? This is Chris and Maggie's daughter. They said that I could do anything, right? And so that was a trigger. And so when I responded and lashed out, I never heard the criticism or the constructive feedback. All I heard was, you don't measure up. You are inadequate. You're a failure. And that's not what anybody was saying. There's that mind chatter. And I didn't give it space to pause for just a second. He's just saying I could have done that better. And guess what? If I would have really looked at it, I could have done it better. They weren't telling an untruth. And I see this a lot at work. I'm a VP at a financial institution. And I always say that no matter your title, no matter any of those things, you're who you are first. And it is that person that resolves issues in the workplace. It is that person that comes through and that you're dealing with at work and things like that. If you don't get yourself straight, if you don't really connect that, get that mind chatter under subjection, you're just going to go bleeding on people and cutting people and thinking they are the problem. No, my friends, it is us. This is an inside job, and it starts, it ends, and it is maintained with us and the choices that we make. Okay? So I'm going to pause. Again, I said I was going to pause and I kept on talking. This stuff just gets good to me. But I want you to think about triggers, because it's important for you to understand what your triggers are. Because if you don't know what they are, when it happens, you're just going to immediately react. Figure out what your triggers are, so when you're faced with that situation, your new trigger is to not going to get me. I'm going to pause, because I know that's a trigger. So I'm going to sit in this moment, and I'm going to try to understand, why am I feeling this way? Why do I feel inadequate? Why do I feel, all he said was I had to wash the dishes. All he said I had to do the report better. That's all. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm okay. I'm going to give you 60 seconds. If you have something to write down, just be honest with yourself. I'm not going to ask you to share. Be honest with yourself about what those triggers are that, just send you reeling or create frustration for you. And go. And guess what? Sometimes your trigger can be a person. It can be a person that makes you think back to a time in your life where you just didn't like yourself. It can be a person that reminds you of a time when you just weren't your best self. Sometimes it can absolutely be a person. So hopefully you've thought about that, and I will encourage you, even once we end this call, to give some thought to that and really invest the time in understanding who you are. Remember, I told you what really started me on this journey was my husband. In the heat of the moment, you don't know yourself. You don't know who you are. And it wasn't until I said, well, let me give this some thought and see if there's any credence to this. And he was absolutely right. And I want to share with you guys. So here's the book that I was telling you about. It's Untethered Soul. And you can see, I like books like this because you can see I have my it's highlighted. I put my sticky notes in there because I always go back to that stuff. But what I want to read is what he put when I ordered this book and I showed it to him. He actually got it, and then he wrote something on the inside of it. And this is what he said. Congratulations on taking the road less traveled. It takes courage to look at that person in the mirror in an effort to truly understand who you are. This is a journey in self-discovery that never truly ends. But no, the victory is not in reaching the end. The victory is in all of the discoverable moments along the way. Love you. He might be a keeper. What y'all think about that? That's what he wrote right there. And I have to tell you, when he put that in there, I treasured this because he's been, I'll be 48 on Friday, y'all. My birthday is Friday. Okay. But I'll be 48 on Friday. And we've been together since I was 19. So he knows me. He truly knows me, right? He's been there for all of the transitions. So for him to tell me, congratulations, that was just something. And I just really, so if you really are into books like this, I encourage you to pick this book up. It will help you. It is really good stuff in here. Okay. So I want to recap just a little bit because I'm talking about several things and I want to make sure that we stay focused. We've defined mindfulness as the awareness of the what? I can see some lips moving. Okay, you don't have to unmute, but it's the awareness of the present moment. Is it the awareness of what happened yesterday? No. Is it the awareness of what we're going to do tomorrow and after the call? No. It is the awareness of the present moment. And then I've clarified, I've taken it a step further. Yes, it's the awareness of the present moment, but it's the awareness of the present moment without interpretation or judgment. You aren't assigning any thought to it. It is literally like you're just on the outside of it, watching it happen. You aren't judging it, and you aren't judging yourself. And by doing that, that keeps you from reacting. If I'm just sitting here and there's no stimulus, I'm probably not going to react to anything, right? So when you do that and you don't interpret and you don't judge, there's no stimulus for you to react to. Okay? We've also touched on the fact that we can choose our response by yielding to that space between stimulus and reaction. There is a space. So that's what I want you guys to work on after our time together today. Stimulus comes in, don't react, don't interpret it, don't look at that person crazy, just don't do any of those things. In that space, that's where you choose what happens next. And there is power in your ability to do that. You've got to understand the power you possess, you all by yourself, despite circumstances, despite outside situations. You have that power to do that by yielding to that space between stimulus and reaction. Okay. So I found this this flyer, and it's 6 steps to mindfully deal with difficult emotions. So I'm going to try to share that now. Okay. And if you guys can just give me a head nod when you can see it. You can? Okay. All right. And when I saw this, I'm like, this is awesome. So I told you about the book that my husband recommended to me, and I meant to bring the Post-it notes. And I told you this was about 4 or 5 years ago. I took notes, as you can see. I like the Post-its and all that, but I took about 5 Post-its and I put them in my bathroom, and those things are still up there to this day. One of the Post-it notes says, "Average is not so terrible," because that's what I needed to hear. Because remember, my trigger was, okay, you ain't all that in a bag of chips, homie. There's some stuff that you can do that you got to do better. I had to face myself. And so I had to put up there to remind myself, average is not so terrible. I put something on there about the emotion. When the emotion comes, I see it and I let it go. Let it go. So that's what we're going to talk about here. And this really is the beauty in all of this. If you don't take anything away, it's really what we're about to cover right now. And it's going to recap everything that I've shared already. So let's look at the first one. Turn toward your emotions with acceptance. Become aware of the emotion and identify where you sense it in your body. Yesterday, I had a particularly stressful day at work. It was stressful. And I was getting these pains in my abdomen. And I told a couple of my coworkers, I said, whenever I feel this, and I don't feel it often, that means, it's just everything happening at once. We have a lot of projects going on. I was meeting, a couple of deadlines, and I just did not feel that I had enough time in the day. And I started feeling that. Do you know that that's why they call stress a silent killer? It manifests in your body in different ways, and you don't even know it. So when I felt that, that's when I knew, oh, okay, I'm really full of it at this point, when I actually felt the physical manifestation of that. When we feel stressed, there's always this fight or flight, and that's when your body releases that cortisol. It's that adrenaline rush. And what I'm trying to encourage you to do today is you don't have to fight or flee. Just do nothing and regain your power. Turn toward your emotions with acceptance. Become aware of the emotion and identify where you sense it in your body. Raise your hand if any of you have those situations where you're stressed out and you feel it. Oh, I got a headache. And you might see somebody and they're just like, oh, Lord, and all this stuff like that. Or, you might have, your stomach, your bowels might get loose. Okay, Toya, I see you, right? And you see all that. There, things happen. So now you can sense it in your body. So now become aware of that. Okay. Number 2, identify and label the emotion. To stay mindful, say to yourself, okay, all right, oh, this is anger. Yeah, that's what yeah, I'm mad. I am mad. I'm spitfire mad. That's anger. Or no, I'm not mad. That's anxiety. And actually, one of my coworkers told me that yesterday. She was like, Precious, this day, I just feel, she said, it's anxiety. That's what I feel. I was like, really? What do you feel? She said, I just feel like it's just something, and that's some people's manifestation of that. They actually feel that anxiousness, and it's just like this tremor underneath, right? Identify it, label it. It's important that you do this. Then guess what? This says to accept the emotion. Don't deny it. Sometimes we say, like, it's not okay to feel stressed. Stress happens. Stress is a natural part of life. Feel it. Because if you don't feel it and understand it and acknowledge it, then you're going to react to it instead of putting it in its proper place so that you can handle it responsibly and move on to the next moment and embrace it from a place of peace. It says, don't deny the emotion. Acknowledge and accept that it is there. You got it? 4, I love this part. Realize the impermanence of your emotion. Even if the emotion feels overwhelming, woo, I love this part. Remember, it will pass. It will pass, guys. Emotions are not here to stay. Let's say this is an emotion and this, my boss is yelling at me. Okay, I see it. Okay, I'm annoyed. That's what I'm feeling on the other side of it. I'm annoyed. Okay. And what does it say? Accept it. Okay, I accept it. I'm accepting in this moment. I'm annoyed because he is yelling at me and I don't like it. But here's where the magic happens. It's not permanent. This what I'm feeling here, it's not permanent. And so number 5, inquire and investigate. Ask yourself, what triggered me? Why do I feel this way? I don't like it because I grew up in a home where I never heard my father yell at my mom. So somebody yelling at me, nah, not going to work. It's just not going to work. I don't communicate that way. So if that's how you express yourself and you're frustrated, I just pretty much shut down. Everybody has those things, but mine is yelling at me. But I know why that is. But here's the wonderful part. What's that last part say? Let go. Let go. Let it go. Let go of the need to control your emotion. He's yelling at me. I recognize I don't like it. I recognize I'm annoyed by it. But I know, oh, wait a minute. That girl named Precious told me this emotion thing is not permanent. I don't have to assign myself to it. I'm not connected to this emotion. It's not me and I'm not it. And the 6th part is, it will pass. It will pass. I promise you guys, those emotions will pass. That person that annoys you, that situation, they pass. Emotions, circumstances, situations that come to destroy you, derail you, they're temporal. They're temporary. They pass. They go, right? As soon as they come, it's gone. And when you realize that, when you truly realize that you have control over those emotions, you will walk a little bit taller, because you'll start realizing how, okay, because I let it go, because I realized that that wasn't permanent and it's not here to stay. That's not me. That's an emotion. It's not here to stay. I recognize the power that I possess to influence my destiny. I recognize the power that I possess to be all that I want to be, all that I say that I am, all that God says I am, all of these things. I recognize the power in those present moments to do and be all that I've been created to be. And that is valuable. That's how I preserve my happy, because I know that joy always abounds. People say, well, Precious, you ain't nobody. And somebody tell me nobody's, that happy all the time. You're right. I have many times where I'm stressed out, many times where, I cry, and, I was crying last night about something, but that happens. That's life, right? But those things don't define me. I know I'm a good person. I know that joy is everywhere that I look. And when I look for it, I will find it. I will connect with it. So that means even with people and their situations when they come, how can I look at this person from a positive perspective and give that space so that I can retool my mind and what's happening in that moment instead of me reacting? How can I now, in that moment, have the peace and the power that I need to influence the very next moment and the very next moment and the very next moment? And when you're practicing it, that's why it's called practicing mindfulness, you will get better. It will get easier. You will start recognizing those triggers as they come, and it'll just be like you're driving. We don't think, if you drive to work, you're probably not thinking, okay, I have to turn, make the second left. You're just on autopilot. And that's what will start happening. I promise you. I promise you, if you invest this time in yourself, give yourself a chance. Give your good future that you've been promised a chance. Give it a chance and see how your life shows up. So let's go over these 6. Turn toward your emotions with acceptance. That means you're assigning kindness, positivity to your experiences. Identify and label the emotion. Oh, this is anger. Oh, this is anxiety. This is sadness. I'm hurt. I'm just hurt. Sometimes people, they come across like they're mad, but they're hurt. Identify that emotion in yourself and deal with it. Then guess what? Accept it. Emotions are a part of us. It's not something that we have to hide. The way that you can show up as your full self is to be your full self. Own everything about what you feel. Just own it. And that's what that's talking about. Accept it. Don't deny it. Realize that those emotions pass. That's the beautiful part about it. Even when you're mad, when you're hurt, and all of those things, it will pass. And ask yourself what triggered it, because that's where that empowerment comes in, that strength, and you're strengthening that muscle for the next time. Why did that trigger me? Oh, muted myself. I get it. It's because when I was 8, my sister used to pick on me all the time. And so now I don't like being the center of attention. When everybody was saying, oh, come do this, there was my cousin, go sit down somewhere, Precious. Don't nobody want to hear what you have to say. It's that 8-year-old that responds. But the last part is let it go. And guys, sometimes that is the hardest thing to do. I have this paper in my hand. And do you have a paper? Somebody just get a pen. I want all of you to just get a pen, get something in your hand, something that won't hurt if it falls. And I'm going to give you 3 words, and I want you to do it. Let it go. Just let it go. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to do. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. So remember that visual. I wish because I see some of y'all like, psh, I'm letting it go. There's power in that, right? I'm gone, right? On to the next. And that's how you get your empowerment in each moment. That's how you rise to every occasion. That's how you choose your response, because you aren't reacting. You aren't reacting. You're intentional in each moment. Okay? So what I want to close with is letting you know that you have the power. Let me stop sharing that. Okay. Guys, you have the power to influence how you experience your life. The outside world and the flow of inner emotions, they come and go. But through mindfulness, you can absolutely become aware of the present moment, embrace it with acceptance, identify that emotion and what you're feeling, accept it, be true to the emotion. Love this part. Realize it is not here to stay. It is temporary, and then send it on its way. And this happens in real time, but you got to let go of that chatter. If you don't let go of that chatter and you just, just get embedded with it, it controls you, and you will never have the clarity you need to hear what others are saying through the lens of kindness that you choose to extend to yourself. It is all about your perspective. It's not about what anybody else says or does, because at the end of the day, it's still your choice. They didn't make you mad. You chose to be angry. You see the difference? So I would like everybody to unmute, because we're going to say some things together. Whoop, whoop. Okay. So I want y'all to repeat after me. I am awesome.
I am awesome.
Really? Y'all, I don't know. I don't know about that. We're going to try again. Y'all were like, I am awesome. No, if somebody's saying they're awesome, listen, I am awesome. Say it like you mean it and you really feel it.
I am awesome.
I am awesome. I am not perfect.
I am not perfect.
And I don't have to be.
And I don't have to be.
My emotions do not control me.
My emotions do not control me.
I acknowledge them.
I
Acknowledge them.
And I let them pass.
And
I let them pass.
I acknowledge them.
I
Acknowledge them.
And I let them pass.
let them pass.
One more time. I acknowledge that emotion. I see it.
I
It's-
acknowledge
that emotion.
I acknowledge that anger. I acknowledge that hurt, that disappointment, just all of those negative things, but I don't attach myself to it, and I let it pass. I just let it pass. Let it go. It's not serving you at all. It's not helping you. And if you want to live your best life, you got to be best in every moment. And you can really connect with your best in the present moment. It's not about your accolades from yesterday. It's not about what you're planning on doing this afternoon. It happens now. And the beautiful thing about now is you can choose now over and over. You can reinvent you. Oh, there's another now. Oh, 2 nows just passed. Oh, look at that. Look at all these nows that we get. Look at all those nows. You got what I'm saying?
Yes.
So in that moment, that's where your power is. Okay. So we're going to dance this thing out. And I love to dance. I love to sing and dance. So you guys can mute if you want to. Brittany, if you will cue that last video. And it's time to get down. Stop it, Brittany. So in that moment, that song, it really does make me, hey, Tommy. But yeah, just that song, just being happy. So I don't want to close without giving a space for people to ask questions, provide commentary, your thoughts. Talk to me. Anybody?
I had a question.
Yes.
Earlier we had to do that 1 minute, right? The 1 minute being quiet, which is hard for me. And then you asked about who has taken 10 minutes for quiet time. Like, what do you recommend for the amount of time you should allow yourself daily for that quiet space?
Okay, I think it depends on where that time of the day is. Okay, so like I think was it Hazel? It was somebody that said that before they go to bed, that's their time. So I would start out slow, because if you try to say, okay, I'm going to do it for an hour, you're going to get frustrated, right? Because it's not something that you've built up yet. So just take baby steps. Start with just 5 minutes. And sometimes what you can do is lay in bed, and I've tried this and it actually works. And you're laying on your back. Start at your head and actually feel a weightlessness in your body. With your head, actually feel your head sinking in to the mattress. I mean, it is literally, you're feeling it sink in. Okay. Once you feel you have that, go to your shoulders. Try to feel it relax. Now I'm trying to get my shoulders just to be weightless. Oh, okay. So now my head is there. Okay, good. I've got my shoulders. Now start with your abdomen area, right above your buttocks. Okay. Now just that weightless feeling. Okay. Then try your legs and then your feet. And that, oh, I'm so, oh, I woke up. Okay, sorry about that. No, but that actually works. But as far as the time frame, Toya, that is up to you. I would not start, if you're just trying to, start the practice, I would not start with an hour, because that might be a little bit, aspirational. Start with 10 minutes. And if you aren't able to do it for 10 minutes, go down to 5. And then stay at 5, 5, 5 until you feel that you've got that. Okay, now I'm going to go up to 10 minutes. Now let me try 10 minutes and just try. But it will absolutely work. It absolutely is valuable to just calm your mind and calm your thoughts and just center yourself. Okay. Anybody else?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hey, Tanisha.
Hello. I just want to say this was really, really good. And not only that, I think the most profound thing for me, there were so many profound things, but the most profound thing for me was when you said the power in your ability to choose. I think I took that so much for granted, because sometimes for me, I would let situations, circumstances, people, whatever the case may be, dictate how I felt, because I was so used to being this person where this is how I'm supposed to feel because of this. And to be able to change my mindset to say, no, you choose how you want to feel. So I needed that, because that was really good. And it's actually life-changing, because there's so many things that go on that make you feel like you're supposed to be this way. No, I'm not. No.
Yes.
So that was
good. I love that. I love it. Yes. You don't have to feel that way. And like you said, you were conditioned to think that, well, I'm supposed to respond. This is the stimulus. Oh, so whenever people deal with this stimulus, this is how, so I'm going to, play that role. You don't have to play that role. You're writing your own story. I love that, Tanisha. Yes. Love really it.
Good. Thank
you. Good. You are welcome. Good. Anybody else? Hazel, you raising your hand?
Yes. This was great. This was awesome. I really needed this today. I feel so good just listening to you.
Woo-hoo!
Oh, you have really lifted my spirit. I had to call my brother. He's a minister in Reesville, North Carolina, last weekend. My youngest daughter, I have 2 daughters, Christina and Isaiah. And Christina got married January the 30th. Her sister texted her the picture she was going to wear to the wedding, even though she wasn't in the wedding party. My daughter refused. She said, you cannot spoil my day. I am the bride. You looking better than me. And she called me. She was crying. I said, Isaiah, please, don't put mama in this. She said, well, mama, I'm not going. She didn't go. And Christina called me and she said, Mama, you the matriarch of the family. You don't have 2 daughters. You need to come to this. You need to have. I said, Christina, please let this go. You got married January the 30th and this is March. Well, Mama, I said, Christina, I feel so bad. And I broke down and cried. And then I realized I'm only on the outside looking in. I can't do anything. I can only talk. I called my brother. He said, Hazel, let's pray. He said, now, when she called, if you want to answer the phone, you can. If not, just let the phone ring. And if she start with the same old thing, say, baby, I love you. Mama have to go. So she called me the other day and she didn't go on with the wedding. She was saying the other thing. But I've learned when I have family issues or something is going on, because I am the mother or the second sister in the family, I can't bring families together. Only God can do this. And this has really helped me, because I'm going through some anxiety issues because of my health. And I told my brother, I'm not going to take an anxiety pill, because the battle's not mine, it's the Lord's. Her and her sister will have to work this out. So this has really helped me for my emotions. When things try to attack me, I have to learn I've learned this ever since Christina called. I said, God, I'm letting this go. This was her win. The wedding is over, and just listen to you. This has really helped me. It really has. Now, things you have said, I know now things to do,
Right.
But thank you so much.
You are so welcome. So even in the end, you can communicate to people, because now once you master this, now you're the author of your own fate, and you're telling them how they're going to treat you. You know what? In this moment, I choose not to be a part of that. So I would prefer that you guys handle that, but I can't get my emotions wrapped up in that. And guess what people are going to do? Guess what people are going to do? The only thing they can do, adjust.
Yes.
Adjust.
Yes. And I told her, I said, Christina, look, you and your sister live all the way in Winston-Salem. I live in High Point. I'm 14 miles away. Look, I told her, I said, I'm going to stay in my lane and y'all stay in y'all's. That's what I'm doing. Yes.
Oh, there's power in the lane. That's right.
So I'm
Thank
happy.
you.
I'm happy. Long as they don't call me, even if they call me with some drama, I just say, okay, babies, I have to go. I can't get into other people's problems.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
thank you, Miss Hazel,
so
for sharing that.
Thank
you are
so
welcome.
Much.
You are welcome. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else? Charlotte.
Hi, Precious.
Hey, Charlotte.
Oh gosh, this
is
such a welcome surprise today, and the timing is truly divine timing for a situation that I just faced less than 24 hours ago that really has had me pretty shook. And so I want to thank you for the timing of it and for the power behind the practical application of being mindful. And so not only am I grateful for myself personally, but even in my line of work, that I can help others with really what mindfulness looks like and how to do it, not just be mindful. So thank you for your ministry. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. You are so welcome. Good to see you. Oh my gosh.
You too.
That's right. Anybody else? This has been wonderful. So, go ahead.
I was going to start closing out, but you're welcome to do so.
I just wanted to thank Habitat for Humanity again. I think you guys are doing a wonderful work in the community. And I just really want to thank you for recognizing or acknowledging me, little old me, to share something with your audience. And when I got the call, the thing that stood out, you said, ever since I've known you, you've always been this positive person. And things like that speak out to me. And this was somebody from high school, right? So just be your best self, guys. Show up being you. Show up as your authentic self each and every day. And I promise you, you will reap the dividends. I love what you said, Charlotte. You said in your line of work, as you're dealing with people, that now you can kind of sprinkle that on them. So this can now go outward from here. And these are practical tips that you can apply. And that's what I like, practical applications of things, because you don't want to just say be mindful and go on. How can you actually do this? So I'm glad that it has helped. And I really genuinely appreciate the time.
Well, thank you so much. We are honored to have experienced you as a lighthouse today. You have truly helped me, and it sounds like you've helped many others. But we are truly grateful for the tips that you've shared today that we can start immediately.
Yes.
And I would like to invite everyone. I have a link in the chat, Habitat for Sight. We have other sessions that are to come, actually one tonight at 6 o'clock with a chef. But I invite you all to, again, come in and join in and engage, because we are looking to empower, even though it's Women's History Month, not just women, but anyone that is welcome, because we are living in a very interesting time. And we want to make sure to hold ourselves together so that we can be the best, the most productive selves that we can be. So thank you all again for attending, and I hope you all have a great day.
One more thing, Brittany, I'm sorry. So I saw that you posted the name of the book. It's called The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, and he has a follow-up to that book if you guys want to get that. And also, you can go to my website. It's preserveyourhappy.com if you're interested in connecting with me, or I love intimate gatherings and having conversations and talking. I just love women empowerment in general. I just love seeing women be free. I love seeing women be harmonious with one another and authentic. So that is preserveyourhappy.com, and there's I think one of the pages on there you can connect with me, and we can take this further. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Go forth and be your best. Go knock it out. Bye. Woo, woo.